As you can see, there's not a whole lot of space in here. Every little bit of it is used up seriously. But what I wanted to show you today was some of these little guys right here. These little magic wands. Okay? Very nice. Now these are the keychain wands. Magic wands. They call them the mini magic wands. They're about 3.5 inches in size. Naturally for keychain. I've got some more over here. Okay, we'll come over here. Here's a better display, and it gives you a good idea of sort of the size of them. And as you can see, each one is different. I hand carved each one of these little guys completely different. We'll just take a quick peek at them here. I'll try and go get them in the picture as best we can. As you can see, they look similar, but they are not. Each one is different. And the beauty of these is these particular ones are made out of PURPLEHEART, an extremely hard wood. In fact, it's the 8th hardest wood in the world. Harder than oak. Much harder than oak, as a matter of fact. And so they stand up under key ring conditions very, very well. They're good and sturdy, and they're quite easy to make. So I thought today I'd show you on how to make a key ring magic wand, mini magic wand for your key ring. So to do that, very easy. Oh, there's my helper. He's sleeping on the job again. To do that, we're going to come over here, and I'm going to just show you some of the stuff you're going to need. Well, you're going to need some PURPLEHEART. You can use other kinds of wood, but if you do, you're not going to be as successful as far as the sturdiness and the strength goes. PURPLEHEART is very, very strong, as I said. So this is just showing you what it looks like. You can see the very nice color, and it is in fact purple. The only wood that I know of that is purple. So when you do find some, you're going to want to cut into strips like this. And these strips are 3.5 inches by 5/16 by 5/16. So that's pretty easy. 5/16, 5/16, 3.5. Cut them into blanks like that. First of all, you'll cut this into that, and then take these. This isn't 3.5, but if it was, you would take it, and then naturally just cut it in 4 pieces on the bandsaw. Very easy to do. And then you're going to end up with the blanks you're going to need, and from the blanks, you're going to end up with the magic wands like that. These ones have been started, but as you can see, they haven't been finished, and they haven't had the holes drilled in them yet. That's what we're going to get into today. I'm going to show you how to do that, so stand by. Whoop, sorry TARDIS, didn't mean to kick you down there. And there's a couple of guys that couple of canes that I'm working on still. Haven't quite got around to finishing them yet. So stand by while I make the setup, and we'll in fact start making some of these beautiful keychain magic wands. Alright, well, thanks for tuning in here. As I said before, we're going to be turning a mini magic wand here from a blank. And in order to do that, well, I've got to get dressed here. Got to get all my gear on for such a little thing, but it shoots up a little bit of dust. Now this is going to get pretty noisy, so the camera's going to roll, but the sound will be off. I'll probably narrate a little bit over top of this. Excuse me. So, it takes about 15 minutes to complete one. Little glove protection. Okay, Got the vacuum going now. So what I'm showing you here is just the start of the process. There's a blank there, and we're going to start. Just turning it on. It's a Dremel, and I'm going to show you, well, you can't really see it, but I'm showing you to put it on number 2. Number 2 is about as high as you want to go when working with Purple Heart. Any faster than that, and Purple Heart really gums up. Sets off a resin when it heats up, and it just clogs up your little sanding device, and it just makes things terrible for you. So you have to kind of go on a slow speed whenever you work with Purple Heart. And I'm just showing you how I'm just sort of rounding off the corners on one end. This will be the handle end. Takes a lot of sanding there. Now I'm just showing you there that has a tendency to slip right over, so you want to be careful. Watch your finger, because it'll get chewed up pretty good. That's why I have this sort of glove on. You don't need much because you'll stop. But I'm just showing you now how it's rounded. There we are. That's the rounded end, one little end. It's about 1/2 inch. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut in grooves. Little grooves all around the 4 edges of the wood. Takes a little time. There you go. And you can sort of see it there. I'm just cutting in a little groove on the 4 edges, and that's all I'm doing. I haven't started rounding it yet. I'm staying on the flat sides. Again, there I'm showing you. Now you don't want to go too deep here, because the more you take off, the weaker it's going to be. So now I'm just going to round off the edges, and it doesn't take much. No pressure on that Dremel, and it's going on a slow speed. So there you have it. Now I've rounded it off. There's the start of the handle. Just showing you different camera angles there. Now we're flipping it over, checking our speed, make sure it's at number 2, no higher. And I'm coming in on an angle now. I'm going to start cutting in the spiral. So you'll notice I'm not holding it at a 90 degrees. I'm holding it off, and I'm showing you there that it's coming in on an angle. Now the trick to cutting these spirals freehand is basically don't round off your corner edges on your wood. Just play the flats, and we'll get to the rounding off of the edges much later on. Gotta be careful, it jumps around a bit, that little Dremel. There we are. See, now it's cutting in. There's the spindle, and the 4 edges are still square. And then it's a matter, once you get it cut in and you know where you're happening, then you just go over it again, and each time you're just making it slightly deeper, and defining it a little bit more and a little bit more. Now we're going to start working on the point, or the very tip of our wand. And it's the same thing. You want to keep the same angle that you've been working with and stay on the flats. So there it is. And of course, as you get closer and closer to the tip, you're running more and more out of wood and out of flats, and this is what makes the curve, or the little point, so unique. There we come. Repetition. That's the key. Go slow and repeat. Repetition. There you can see it sort of coming in now. The point of the wand. See, it's coming up. It's coming up. Stay on the flat sides. Notice how I haven't turned any of the edges of that piece of wood, of that blank wood yet. Everything I'm doing is still keeping the wood rectangular shape. Now again, I'm just going over and deepening the grooves a little bit more. Now we're getting it pretty good, and see how it's still rectangular. And you got to play around with that little tip and get it just the way you like it. Yeah, it's starting to shape up there nicely now. Now I'm telling you that I'm going to start to round off all the square edges now. All those square edges along that blank piece of wood now are getting curved over. We're speeding it up a little bit here. Takes time. There you go. I'm showing you that the inside of the spiral is being rounded at this point. So it's all the flat edges on the inside of the spiral. And you notice this whole thing has been done just with a Dremel and a 60 grit sanding disc. Speed number 2. And it's a matter of repetition. Don't try and take off too much at one time. Otherwise you'll throw your proportions out. A little bit. Now you see I haven't touched the edges yet. Those are just the inside of the spirals. Now I'm telling you, hey, I'm going to go to these square edges, and we're going to really see some magic happen here now. It's really turning into a nice piece of a wand. You see there? Just there goes these square edges. There's some I'm showing you. Yep, square edges, clean it up. It's quite noisy in there because I've got the shop back going, and it's pretty noisy. It's picking up most of the dust there. I got an old adjustable neck lamp from the $2 from the Goodwill store. Cut the cord off and then just strap my hose on, and I can bend it wherever I want. It's great for doing dust collection. So here we go, cleaning up now all those corners, all those edges. A couple left near the handle, I'm showing you, but the ones near the point now have been all taken off. And yep, it's all a matter of patience. And there it is, it's coming along. Couple of hard edges there left near the top of the handle. Okay, I flipped it around in my hand now because I was running out of space to hold on to it, and come in from the other end. And it takes very little, you see, just a few strokes, and knock those corners off, knock those hard edges off, those straight edges. You want some nice curvature in there, and you can't go wrong. You see, the beauty of this project is it doesn't matter what you do, you can't make a mistake unless you make it too thin. But other than that, any kind of design or curve is right, whatever feels right for you. I'm just rounded off the end of the handle, and basically that's it. We're in business. You got a magic wand, magically done in a very short amount of time. Right, there's the blank. Yes, indeed. Deserves a thumbs up for sure. Alright, so that's how you do it. Didn't take very long. Pretty easy. End up with a very nice spindle. As you can see down there, maybe your camera's picking it up down here. Very, very nice little magic wand. And each one is different. No two are the same because it's, as you saw, done by hand. So beautiful, and it's very strong. Now we'll come over to the drill press and we'll drill our hole in it. So follow me over there. Well, as luck would have it, I got my big old hands in the way of the camera, and I can't show you how to drill a hole in the end without having to refilm everything all over again. But if you've gotten this far, I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to drill a hole in the end. But if you can see it in the camera there, right beside the drill press is a vise. If you don't have one, by golly, it's worth the money or something. If you have a pair of vice grips even, try and put a cloth on it, clamp it with vice grips, and then drill your hole. It'll hold it steady for you while you get your hole in there. Or even if you want, you can take the blank while it's still flat and drill your hole in, and then do your carving. Your hole will already be in it from the very beginning. You won't have to worry about coming in on a round surface, because sometimes the drill bit will want to twist as it goes in, and your hole will be off center, and then after you've done all that work, you'll be doing some bad words, so you don't want that to happen. So maybe just do it on the flats, drill your hole, then do your carving. So thanks very much, and if you really like to have a look at what I do and what I make, go to Etsy.com, ETSY.com, and look for my store, my shop. It's called OffbeatWoodcraft. No S on the end, just craft, woodcraft. OffbeatWoodcraft, Etsy.com. See you there. I got lots of stuff there, and more stuff coming up from the workshop. So hope you like this little film, and hope you can try and make one. But if not, we'll see you at the gift store. Thanks for tuning in, and subscribe. Tell your friends. If not about this video, at least tell them about my store on Etsy. Maybe they like magic wands. So it's great on the keychain. Thanks. Bye-bye.